highest,
yeah, he was
if I'm
the
not
highest.
mistaken, in all of Hunter Season 3.
Which is ridiculous because in the international scene, we've seen this hero time and time again. You know, people were just kind of complaining about it, and for it to not really been seen at all until the grand final is kind of surprising. But Behemoth, no surprise there. We've been talking about it a little bit, how it's kind of the hero of the tournament, so no surprise they first pick it here. BMG actually respond then with a Doctor Repulsor and a Cursed pick. Wow, interesting.
It's really interesting because the main issue, we were talking about this earlier, I believe I was here, it might have just been backstage, but a Cursed is one of those heroes you never really want to fight into it, okay? And the way you deal with it is just massive amounts of split push, okay? And that's good and all, but with the DR on the enemy team, assuming I think this is definitely a Rush Hellflower game, it gives you a lot of catch and the ability to stop split push, and that's really the only way to deal with a Curse, because there's just no way to team fight into him in most games until you take the game really late and his heals starts to become ineffective. They're going to last pick Valkyrie, so I'm almost 95% sure we'll see a boxy Valkyrie offlane with the Accursed. That's one of their favorite lanes to run. They just mess with the enemy carry and just deny him the lane. However, I just don't know about putting Boxy on Valkyrie. I don't think that's
I mean, I know what you've been saying, and the last game of Valkyrie is obviously the semi-finals. The first game they actually lost, actually. So it would be kind of cool to see him play Playmakers. He's been playing it throughout and had a great success. But then again, it's a strategy that BMG have been wanting to bust out here. I mean, they've played it a lot, had a great success actually in the international client, the Accursed Valkyrie lane. And normally, I remember when BMG would pick the Accursed Valkyrie lane, it would be against any kind of tri-lanes. And MRR, they play a lot of tri-lanes. So with the Accursed Valkyrie lane, they're going to have a lot of pressure onto the short lane, and they're only going to commit 2 heroes to it. They're not going to be able to kill the Valkyrie because the Curse is going to back him up, and Valkyrie's going to get a lot of farm. He's going to pressure the short lane as well, and with a second support, Behemoth or Fade, I mean, there's not much that I don't think the MMR can do against the aggressive short lane.
Yeah, quick note, the bans come out very quickly. MRR down to just 20 seconds on their reserve time. Fuzin's still with the full 80, and he definitely went through those bans very quickly, which I agree with. You want to, whenever you have a time advantage, you want to pressure the opponents, much like playing timed chess. There's no reason to think extra time when you know that you have the clock on your side. The interesting fact to me is that Moira is left unbanned, unpicked, and I believe he was first picked last game, if I'm not mistaken, by...
it was BMG.
BMG, exactly.
Because MRR first picked Doctor, then BMG snap picked the Moira, and I think it had kind of good success in the last game, and MRR, they had the ability to pick up the Moira, instead they completely disregarded, which to me is kind of surprising, but like I said, the bans are coming out. Legionnaire, Cthulhuthun, and Flux for MRR, all very targeted bans, except for the Cthulhuthun, actually, a hero we haven't seen any kind of coverage from, but another hero that's had absolutely nothing. Oh, it's a random. Wow. I mean, you were talking about very, very bad extra time. I mean, they're going to have to play with that. If this was me, if this was like my team, I'd say no remake.
That's an interesting situation. I've never seen this happen at a LAN final. Personally, I think it's up to... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. You take the win, man. There's 100 grand on the line.
I'd definitely take the win. And, I mean, Krake is the one saying it as well. I mean, if the decision's going to be made, it's going to be made from the captain, so...
I mean, I applaud them for their gamesmanship, and I do believe it is the right move, just especially from a spectator point of view, but in my experience...
You take the win.
You take the win, because if you don't, like, I've been the nice guy, and you get burned for it. Like, they're gonna take the win. You know, situations. You know, one of your teammates gets DDoSed. Oh, you know, can we remake? No, we can't. Like, you play, and then my team plays on. It's just, it's a really interesting move, and they finished with the Glacius. Has this hero had any success at this event? I really feel like it's a non-factor every game.
I do agree. Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot from it, and I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, the chilling presence has been buffed recently, obviously increasing the max mana for all of his teammates. But again, so we got to talk about the draft, obviously. So it's going to be a Vindicate and Glacius supports with 3 cores of Behemoth, Swiftblade, and Fade. That's what it's looking to be, unless they're going to remake the Glacius as well, which I don't think it's going to be. So I mean, Glacius, Vindicate, Fade, Behemoth, there's a lot of magic, but where's your core damage? Even Swiftblade normally builds like the Energizer, the Abyssal Skull, not a lot of damage coming out from this draft as long as they change just the Pestilence.
I mean, we haven't seen it at all at this event, but I would have loved to see a Witch Slayer. I don't know why it's just not picked in this event. It's to me, it just makes so much sense, especially with the Vindicator.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot to protect him in case he gets caught. And it's such an excellent hero up against DR and Valk. Obviously, there's an Accursed to remove the CC, but I just... where does Glacius fit? Like, I know that...
It's just the laning phase, I'd assume.
You don't see his impact because of the aura as much, and I'm sure it plays a part in the hero's viability, but I just don't see how it's going to do anything here. Like, Andromeda's still in the pool. That, to me, makes a lot more sense as a pick. And in addition, does this mean it's a Vindicator core, or are we going to see the Behemoth off lane?
Yeah, I guess we could see the Vindicator core. I mean, just from what I've seen in terms of research, normally they play a secondary support Vindicator, but I think in this case, I definitely prefer a second support Behemoth and a core Vindicator, because I think it would work a lot better in the draft. But going back to the Witchslayer pickup, I mean, if they had Vindicator and Witchslayer as support, I think their laning phase could be definitely crippled. But anyway, they do finish it off, BMG do finish off their draft actually with a Torturer, a hero that they've been playing a lot recently outside of the Glacius. Again, a hero that really doesn't have that great of a win percentage. You can see the stat here by Quincy, only 40% win. So, yeah, very, very low win percentage.
I really like the Torturer pick, though.
Yeah?
Traditionally, two of my favorite heroes to run that hero with are Accursed and Pharaoh, because Torture easily is the highest damage output you can get on a support, and it fills so many roles on their team. They had no method of pressuring towers. Torturer fills that. It's excellent with Pharaoh as just a meat tank to get in front and protect him, and then there's an Accursed to keep him alive. And traditionally, the weaknesses of the hero are that you're very squishy, and you need something to go in first, because it's not that easy to hit point-blank stuns without any setup. And it's just perfect here because they really were lacking damage, and I think that he fills the void very, very well. We're going to get into the game in just a second. We had to remake. Pestilence is going to be Vindicator, and then we'll go over the full lineups once we actually get into the game.
So support Vindicator, obviously, probably not going to be the case. Most likely going to be a core Vindicator. I mean, what kind of item builds are we going to see most likely from a core Vindicator?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I think against the Pharaoh specifically, you got to go push book first item to me. And then it's really up to his discretion. It could be a solid Hellflower is not bad, but again, the problem is the Accursed, and that's what makes Accursed so strong right here, is because the Valk and the DR, they die in a CC, but a well-played Accursed, if he can just remove that, there's really no counterplay, especially as the DR. It's so effective. It's one of the reasons I always think that really late-game Nullifier Blades are very, very strong.
Yeah.
Because no one expects, like, oh, we sheeped him, kill him, but then boom, he gets purged, immediately shrunken heads, and your initiation just disappears, and you're actually on the back foot. So it's, again, just very difficult to team fight into them, and that's part of what makes the Vindicator pick so strong, because it gives them that 4 to 5 seconds to land a kill. And it was really, I think, the only hero that gives them a shot in team fights. I mean, can you come? And it's just the Glacius. That's the pick.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It just seems a little bit thin in terms of doing anything. Like, what does it do outside of the aura? Like, yeah, it's good in the laning phase, which I can understand, to be honest. Like, if they don't have the Glaciers, I think that their lanes could be a little bit weak. And obviously, we've seen BMG time and time again, whether it be Boxy, whether it be Balthazar, just wreck their lane. And because of that, it has a big impact in terms of scaling into the mid game. So I can understand where the Glaciers pick. Obviously, great spells in lane, has kill presence. The mana is obviously very nice as well to keep up the mana regeneration, to have impact in lane. But yeah, I do agree. But with the Vindicator core, though, I think if you are going to go tablet, I think it would make a lot more sense. Obviously, you're facing against a Pharaoh, but you kind of need a farming mechanism. If you remember, like, they don't have any kind of pushing on the side of MRR, so because of that, they're not going to be able to force objectives, so they're going to have to take it late. And if you can take it late, you have to have some kind of farming mechanism. And I know a lot of the teams are really, really liking the Grimroll pick, so I could see that pick up.
Yeah, I like to see it. It really is just going to come down to the first couple of engagements, I think. The issue is just, see, it's just a really strong combo. They don't have the greatest sustained damage on MRR, but with the Vindicator Silence into Swiftblade ult, a Fade Opener, Behe if he is able to finish a Blink, they do have the damage to get a kill in their window, but if they don't manage to do so, the counter initiation coming out from Team BMG is just going to be brutal. Like, there's just so much they can throw at them. And again, the Torture last pick, I really like it. Specifically just because it gives them the ability to take towers. It cannot be underestimated. I believe Impalement, when maxed out, will do about 75% of a Tier 1 tower's health just on its own. You can actually just sit in fog and do it even. I've seen people push with that. And then about 50% of a tier 2s, which is really valuable in a game where neither side really has much ability to pressure towers. It's just, oh, Hotcast is host. I am now host of the game.
Oh.
It's okay. I got this.
But yeah, so obviously BMG, they're 1-0 up in the grand finals. What's it like being on the main stage? Obviously, you've been to GSL, you've been on the main stage. I mean, what's the big impact? What's the real sort of issues they have to deal with?
Well, it hasn't been too loud just yet because BMG's been winning, but you can certainly feel the crowd. And there are days, I think we have randoms joining the game.
Yeah, you kind of want to private that game, probably.
Oh, I forgot to do that.
That's
okay. I'll answer your question in just a second. I have to take over hosting duties. So I'm kicking this guy, kicking this guy, and are we ready?
But yeah, so we've seen MRR, they're 1-0 down, and we're with their home crowd. I mean, is there anything that's particular they need to do to actually come back in this game?
It's hard to say. They just really need to keep their heads, and I like the fact that they were taking timeouts, in essence. And I think that that's a sign that they are focused, but I'm not sure. The thing is, they're playing against BMG. You know, it's not just about are they prepared. It's is BMG going to tilt? Are they a better team than BMG? And personally, I feel like BMG has more talent. I don't want to. I've been praising this guy a lot, but I think Punk Bang is one of the best players I've seen in this event. His last game wasn't the best, but
I think that comes down to armization, though, which could be a team factor, obviously.
Yeah.
I know, depending on the team, I know particularly with Sync Esports, Insania's like, Insania will tell the team to get this item, this item, this item.
That again comes down to playing on stage, you know. In a normal game, like he was panicked. He took the tower, immediately ran over to Kong with his swap out, and then suddenly, starting the game, by the way, and then immediately took the fight. He's not thinking, oh, should I have 6,000 gold? He's just thinking, crap, I've got to get to Kong. Like, we can't lose this game. And going back to your question about being on stage, you can, when you lose a fight and the crowd cheers for the other team, it's really demoralizing. And one thing BMG does not have right now is the ability to feed off of the crowd. It's MRR. It's the team of Thailand. You know, the only biggest Thai sponsor here for the first time in a grand final at GSL. This is a big deal to the crowd, and as I said, it is packed. You know, because their stream's just a little bit ahead of ours when a big play is made by Thailand, because they start screaming.
Hear it.
Yeah,
you can hear it.
BMG gets crickets.
Yeah.
But if MRR starts rolling, I'd keep an eye on their camera, because I would not be surprised to see them getting hyped, jumping, yelling, and I think that they can use that energy to kind of revitalize themselves and win this upcoming game. So the draft is complete. Obviously, we got about 6 seconds left, so we're going to jump right into the game. And we're going to get started. Vindicator, Glacius, Fade, Behemoth, and Swiftblade for MRR. Torture, Accursed, Dr. Repulsor, Valkyrie, and Pharaoh for BMG. The one remaining hope of NAEU.
Yeah, BMG 1-0 up here against MRR in the grand finals of Hontor World Finals here. I mean, quick thoughts. What's the predictions?
It's hard to say. It really depends on how the game starts, but I will say that I really favor BMG in team fights if the Vindicator ults aren't spot on. And I gotta say, a lot of respect to God Kasa. He's playing it, and I think it's very good that the captain is playing the Vindicator, because his R button could win or lose them the game, and it's very important that they dodge fights when that ability is not up, because they do not have a chance without a well-placed Vindicator ult in the team fight.
And then one thing to note, though, is that normally when we see like Vindicators, it's like normally to counter like the Tempest ultimate, you know, the Magma, some big AoE, big ultimate. Whereas, you know, for BMG, they don't really have that big ultimate. Perhaps maybe the Accursed, but doesn't really. Maybe perhaps the Pharaoh as well. But we're not seeing those big AoE impacts. I mean, is that making Vindicator here in this pick a little bit weakened, or is it still decent?
Hard to say. Wait, okay, I got super distracted looking at Chitawan. What did you just say?
So,
right. Sorry.
But like normally whenever we see like support Vindicators or Vindicators in general, they're picked up so they can counter big ultimates, say, from the enemy team. Like, you know, if they're placing against like a Tempest, like a Magnus Eruption. Whereas in BMG, we don't see that here. Is that a reason? I mean, is that bad or is that good still?
The thing is, it's just so effective. Again, it's stopping the initiation. You know, Pharaoh ults in. Doctor jumps in, boom, Vindicator silence. You now know a Curse is out of the fight. You have 5 seconds to kill Doctor. It's not necessarily just for canceling those big ultimates, but preventing a team play. And I can't believe we're actually going to see another Pharaoh mid from Krake this time. It is such an odd pick to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that BMG have done recently before. We see Fade going 1v1 in mid as well, actually, with Matchy bottom lane. There might be some engagements. The arrow just misses Glacier's nice side step, but they still might be able to kill him, but no, they're going to have to back off, and they should be fine. But already, this accursed Valkyrie lane causing a lot of problems here for MRR.
This is a very, very difficult dual lane to lane up against, and Swiftblade won't really be able to kill anything other than the Accursed. Valkyrie, I mean, they have a Glacius Freeze. That's their only CC, and that can be easily removed. So,
yeah. But I mean, that's the point, though. Accursed, if you can see him, he's playing very, very far back. Their ward, I think, their ward is still here as well, so he knows exactly where the enemy supports are of MRR, so he can play very far back. Valkyrie can stay up, do a lot of pressure, and harass the supports as well. I mean, they are going to give him so-so, but I mean, Valkyrie has a lot of regen as well, so he should be fine.
Indeed. What's key is, the thing is, Glacius Vindicator wins this dual lane. So, if they can keep the lane here, Swiftblade just free farm, get level 3, level 4, they're going to win the lane handily. But they just want to continue boxing him out, keep it in essence 2v2. Let Swiftblade just maintain lane control and free farm, and they'll end up winning because their offlaner Behemoth is going to get a whole lot more because we didn't see, I didn't show it on camera, but he is blocking the lane to maintain control. So there's really nothing they can do to prevent him from getting experience up top.
Yeah. Valkyrie might be in trouble now, and that's where obviously the Accursed Fire Shield really comes into play. The Glacius Imprisonment comes out, instant Fire Shield off. And obviously there is some other lanes going on as well. You've got Pharaoh versus Fade 1v1 mid. I mean, who do you give the advantage to in this lane?
I like Fade personally. He just in essence has to spam call and steal Pharaoh's mana, and you can get CS for it as well. It's 10-3 versus 8-2 right now.
Okay.
So pretty even. Bottom lane's really going to be where the action happens, I believe. Up top, let's see. Torture's actually doing a pretty good job zoning because the Behemoth's actually going to grab a haste middle. Might just defend, protect it for the Fade, which I would think, like that actually secures Fade the lane if he leaves it for him. Krake actually, it's a relatively even lane. We can't really expect too much from down here, from mid. Bottom lane, we have a little bit of an initiation on the Valkyrie. Oh, the shield was a little early. Did not remove the Tundra imprisonment, or ice imprisonment rather. Does not matter, however. Game completely even.
And then obviously you've got the top lane up here, Doctor, Repulsor, and Torturer. I mean, Doctor, Repulsor obviously throwing decent 350 GPM with Behemoth only 83. I mean, this is to be expected, I think. Torturer are going to be easily be able to box out the Behemoth, obviously specs out the Impalement as well. Although Dr. Repulsor is starting to lose the lane control, but I think it's because Torture is actually going to be pulling the lane right now, as you can see, so he's going to get some nice levels. He's kind of failed the pull, actually, unfortunately, mistimed it, and as a result doesn't get the hard camp pull.
Yeah. This Glacier is now completely out of mana and regen, and I don't actually know why he's even bothering to use his Ice Imprisonment, because it's just getting shielded off every time. Like, it's not accomplishing anything. And they're actually doing fairly good down here. I mean, he's got experience on boxing, not many CS, and Swiftblade is free farming. Oh, wow, he catches the arrow. Wow, he's down.
He should be fine. He's got the leap as well, and there's no way they can catch him. No boots and Swiftblade, so really nice play then. And this is what I was saying, like, because obviously MRR are down here, obviously the Valkyrie, the Accursed lane, there's no way they can really kill him unless they can get on the Accursed, but with this ward of sight here, there's no way they can catch him out, and as long as he's got good positioning as well. And because the Valkyrie is pressuring Swiftblade so much, MRR supports are feeling forced to stay down there, and if they're feeling forced to stay down there, trying to harass out the Valkyrie, they're soaking up a lot of experience. I mean, look at Valkyrie, look at Glacier, level 1, Vindicator level 2, Valkyrie's already level 3, so because of that, they are kind of out-leveling the MRR supports, and as a result, easy kills happen.
Yeah, I will say, they used both wards down here on BMG, one to block the pole camp and another for vision. I think you commented on that, but I just didn't even realize, like, that's a big investment. They really want to win this lane.
I think it's important though, because if you block out the pool camp, then this aggressive dual lane can do even more work, because the supports, there's no way they can farm. All they can do is box out the Valkyrie, as we've seen, but as long as he buys enough regen that she has, he's got 6 extra runes of Blight. What else can the MRR supports do? They have to unblock this ward, because otherwise they're going to be under-leveled. They'll be taking a lot of Swiftblade's farm and experience, and because of that, yeah, I mean, the Valkyrie lane has even more kill potential because the supports are so low level.
I think a big part of this game is just going to be the Fade. He can kill a lot of heroes on the map, and if he starts snowballing, gets a quick level 11, he'll actually be able to solo kill every core on this BMG lineup. And he's having a very good laning phase thus far, 28-5, just 4 CS behind the free farming Dr. Repulsor up top. So having a great laning phase. Pharaoh doing quite well. But these are the heroes that are going to decide the game, and Pharaoh is maxing his rocket, which really limits his solo ganking capabilities.
Yeah,
really,
I mean, what's your thoughts on that anyway? Do you like it, or do you think max Hellfire would be better?
I personally always maxed Hellfire and preached that was the build. He is rocketing to side lanes quite a bit, and again, it kind of just to assist this Valkyrie Accursed dual lane. But I just feel like you kind of have to max Hellfire. You just can't kill anything if you don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it gives him a little more lane presence. Obviously, doesn't allow him to kill the Fade, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill the Fade because Fade's level 6 already. Give him the spam out the rocket, obviously helps the side lanes, but gives him better CS as well because he can CS with the Tormented Soul.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Dr. Repulsor is still free farming top. Looks like he has investments and a TP, so he's looking to get active early on. 3 points in the opposite charges. Only 2, sorry. And I mean, that to me just signifies they're ready to play the Thai style. And if they go for a dive on either bottom or mid, he's ready to teleport in and make it a 5v5.
Yeah, I mean, but you can get aggressive. You can play a lot more active.
Oh, gang coming in middle. Fisher Block's going to land on the Pharaoh. He gets the Hellfire off, misses the hook, gets imprisonment, and he's down. Yeah. That's actually a big deal because his ult's going to be down for another 50 seconds once he spawns. Really nice setup gank. I mean, it was pretty simple, to be honest. And Fade used his ultimate for that. I don't think it was necessary. I believe it was just for the extra damage boost. He just initiated with the stun. And that's a big deal because he had a haste rune. And he could just have hasted top invis and get a kill.
Wow, they've actually missed the pool camp. They brought over the courier, and yet they still couldn't find the Ward of Sight. I mean, Ward of Rev is definitely in range, but they just couldn't see it. They didn't see it for whatever reason. And seeing as this Ward of Sight was freshly placed as well, again, the MRR supports are very hard to find their farm. They're having to rotate, and because of that, now Swiftblade's farm is going to slowly, be reduced. It was like 380 one time, and now Valkyrie's getting a lot more farm as well. So I mean, this one Ward of Sight, I mean, both Ward of Sights on these pool camps doing a lot of work.
And neither Glacius nor Vindicator has boots. That's such a huge deal. Like, they're actually just so far behind. And the top tower goes down uncontested. That's what I mean. If Fade has ultimate there, there's no way they get away with that. He has a haste rune. I'm really disappointed they didn't go to the to defend that, or even just bait. A hasted Fade is so scary, especially against a Doctor and a Torturer. Like, they both have 700 health or less.
Yeah. It looks like actually Balthazar's going to go for that Nelson. It's a really preferred favourite of his. I mean, do you like it, this game? And obviously, it stops the ultimate from Vindicator, which I think is a big deal. Obviously, the Swiftblade slashes. Do you like it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's such a good item now after the nerf to the cost, and it stops only major abilities. I mean, Glacius Imprisonment, Vindicator ult, Swiftblade ult. Those are huge abilities to nullify. And, I mean, how is Glacius ever going to get his W off on a Doctor in a team fight? Yeah. Like, they really don't have a way to cancel that. And the only way he's really going to die is in a silence. So that's a big item, and he's going to have it very quickly. He's having an excellent, easy time up top. Balthazar already over 400 GPM.
I mean, at the moment, I think the game's going to be kind of static. The only real rotations I think we're going to see is obviously the MRR supports, unless obviously Balthazar is looking to get aggressive with a TP or Pharaoh Rock. I mean, the ultimate is up. I mean, where are we going to see the next rotation, do you think?
Mid, because there's 2 BMG heroes just waiting in the wings. However, it's an Accursed and a Tort. So
Fate just ulted, actually. They're going to try and set up a gank actually on the Pharaoh.
I think they know this is coming. They place a Rev down. They won't see the ward, which is all the way up there.
Well, Cursed is sitting behind Pharaoh, though, so if they dive... I think they might have served the course just down there.
See, this is the way that BMG has to play. They really can't get offensive until the Doctor is much more farmed, and it's Balthazar. Not only is he going a passive build, he's a passive player. Man, so I wouldn't expect him to get involved for the next 10 minutes, at least on an offensive. They do land the stun on Pharaoh, though. Fisher going to land on top. There's the Valkyrie invis, and they just can't do anything. Catches the Fade. Not much damage coming up from Pharaoh, as we know, but there's the arrow, the call, and he's dead. That's a very risky play, and that's what's going to happen every time. Suddenly, boom,
It's
5
curse,
BMG heroes mid. Yep.
And that curse really saving out the Pharaoh. So just really nice counter initiation. I mean, probably, I think they TP'd one too many. I don't think they needed all 5, but obviously you didn't know if MRR were going to jump back in. But still, good play from BMG, and they responded. Now 3,000 gold ahead, 2,000 experience. I just want to touch on the stat that Quincy posted. I think it was like an 83% win percentage of a curse out of 17 games of the Hunter Season 3. That's a pretty big win percentage.
It's interesting because it's one of those heroes that you really need to know how to play against it to succeed, because that's not what you do. If they sniff your gank out, you need to just make something else happen, because that will never, ever succeed. That's what they want. And MRR, they're in a tough spot. They're down 1-0. They feel like they need to make something happen, but you just can't. You need to play the game differently. And that's a big death. Fade's the hero they need to snowball for them to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, whenever you play against a curse, is where you have to gank anywhere but where their curse is, obviously, because obviously they try to gank mid. The curse was there. You're not going to find a kill on him. Obviously, that fire shield's level 2 now, very, very useful, and there's no way they can really deal with him. Obviously, the biggest thing in terms of ganks, obviously, the stun duration. That's going to be completely nullified with the level 2 fire shield here from a curse. So just they need to be ganking anywhere but where their curse is. And Ruthlessly, after me, he's been had some good rotations. Obviously, curse didn't find any kind of kills. Obviously, he's got 1-0-1, but stopping a lot of rotations from MRR already.
And then I believe it's just another strat pause. Maybe there's an issue with sound or something, but still paused. No big deal. Balthazar looks kind of, you can just tell. Man. Yeah, you can just tell, though. He's on edge, just from body language. Like, this is a big deal, and they really want this win. I mean, this would be a huge deal. I remember, actually, like, a couple of years ago, all these guys had been playing for a while. Fuz and Balthazar, Cracky, names I recognize. And, you know, they were really never this caliber of player, you know, the people you think you would see in a final. And this is really their opportunity to prove that they're the real deal and that they deserve the championship. And they're taking it seriously. MRR, they seem kind of off. I don't know. In game, I really feel like it comes down to draft.
Yeah, I mean, with BMG, I mean, they've stuck together for, it feels like almost forever almost. They've got 2 or 3 years so far behind them. They've been sticking as a team. There has been, I think, 1 or 2 rotations out from the roster, but the main group of players, they have been stuck in together. And as a result, I mean, success pays off after you sort of stick together. And that's the reason why. But one thing's for certain, that there's never been a team who's done their first LAN and pulled out a win. There's no other team in Hon's history to have ever won their first LAN they've participated in.
Well, Stay Green did 5 times, but
well, it depends how much. It depends how much you want to go.
We don't want to talk about Stay Green. We're trying to crown a new champion here, not just discuss, you know, the 5-time champions.
True.
Anyway, Accursed is just one of those heroes that's very difficult to play into, and I think that that's playing a big role in this game, because in essence, Fade, wherever Accursed is keeping one lane secure, they're obviously going to play passive in the off lane now. So he's really only got 1 lane at most to go and land a kill. And that's a Dr. Repulsor, and the tower's down. They don't have any map control in that area, and it's just going to be really difficult for them. I don't know. I really fear for MRR here. Like, their Vindicator and their Glacier still don't have boots.
I mean, what do MMR... I'm doing it now as well.
Right?
And what kind of name... Why would you call your name MRR when... Oh, whatever. Anyway. But like, what do MRR need to do to actually get back to the game? As you said, the supports don't even have boots. I mean, is there any sort of rotation they need to make? Or what's the game plan? If you were the captain of MRR right now, what would you be saying? What would you be doing for your team?
It's hard to say, man. I would feel relatively lost, and that's where I think they're at, because they don't have as much catch as BMG. They don't really have the mid-game team fights. They can't pressure towers. It's really tough, and it's going to be tough. It's just hard for me to see a way for them back into this game. Swiftblade's really got to just take over. I believe he's going to go for Rune Cleaver, which will accelerate him very rapidly. But
what's your thoughts on Rune Cleaver Swiftblade?
It's not bad. What is the build, like the accepted build?
Yeah, the accepted build nowadays in Swiftblade is Energized into Abyssal Skull into Frostbrand.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. Just a lot of build-up items. They never go Rune Cleaver, but... So
right, well.
Anyway, we are back into the game though, so we'll have to sort of see. And what is your opinion on Rune Cleaver though, Swiftblade, this game in particular?
I think it's necessary, because the only way they're winning is, we already said they were low on damage, mostly just because there isn't a curse on the other team, but Glacius Vindy, like, they just don't provide any. And Behemoth, he'll get a blink eventually and start doing work, but until then, like they just need Swiftblade to be massive, and he can do that with this item. And another pause vote.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you gave me kind of like a weird face with the Energizer, Frostbrand, and Abyssal, but that's normally what we see. We see Swiftblade offlane, to be fair, most of the time, so it doesn't need to be that main damage dealer, whereas obviously in this game, the Rune Cleaver, very, very important, as you said, to be that heavy carry or that hard carry to really carry his team.
Yeah, I will say there is a triple stack Ancients that it looks like Krake is clearing. Is he doing that by himself and just spamming Rocket?
I don't think he can kill this Ancients by himself. No way.
They took a lot of damage. I think maybe DR was doing them? I have no idea. I wasn't paying well enough attention.
Fair dues. But, so, this event, Swindle, so far, you liked it?
Oh, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm, like, really tired, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
tell me about it.
I'm feeding off the energy of the game, the crowd and stuff. These pauses are killing me because I just need more coffee. I might have to ask for a delivery because I am wiped.
Talking of the pauses, though, maybe it's a small thing, but I mean, what's it like, particularly for BMG? Obviously, they're 1-0 ahead. A lot of these pauses, a lot of these stop-starts. Does it have an impact on your mentality, on your confidence?
Maybe, but see, at this point, I just don't think it'll hurt BMG because they're in a winning position. They really just have to play a disciplined game, and I think they come out of this with a win. And I don't care how long I'd have to wait. If I have a winning position, I'm just chilling, man. I'm kicking it. There's no fear, no problems, and it's just going to be difficult. I'm trying to find a way for MRR to win this game, and like Boxy's sitting on 307 GPM. The fade's at 308. He's 50 gold per minute behind the Swiftblade that he's been 2v3 against. It's just going to be so hard for them. And once again, I mean, Boxy, he's having a really good performance. He is very farmed for an off-lane Valk. And
yeah. I mean, I guess it goes back to the strategy as well, though. A Cursed Valkyrie offlane, it's something that BMG they kind of invented this sort of this playstyle, this combo in particular, and it dominated the international scene. We only saw it, I think it was in the last cycle, I think Cycle 8 and Cycle 7 of One Tour Season 3, and we're seeing it here as well. And I'm pretty sure the teams of MRR are not really expecting it because it's really dominated them. Obviously, the support's completely under-leveled and giving a lot of space for Boxy as well, because I mean, with this Accursed Valkyrie lane, it allowed them to win every single lane almost. They've got a lot of farm on their short lane. Obviously, Krake's done very well mid as well. He's about 300 GPM before he got ganked. And now Valkyrie 300 GPM. And like, there's not much you can really do when like everyone on the enemy side has got so much farm. It doesn't really kind of matter about hero composition. It's just who's got the most farm at the end of the day.
Pretty much. I mean, what do you think? They have a chance? What's your win percentage?
What's my win percentage here of MRR? I think seeing as they're 1-0 behind, I'd probably give it a lot lower. I think 20%. I think if they can get into the mid game, if they can find perhaps some kills with like some linker play with maybe the Fade and the Behemoth, then I think they have a chance to get back into the game. But that's kind of a while away when they have made the Portal King and Behemoth. It is kind of close. I mean, one thing that you have to remember is that the Thai teams, they're very, very, very good in terms of ganking as pairs. And with that, maybe they can create a lot more space. This Swiftblade, however, is going to have to get very, very large in terms of to carry this game.
For sure. Pause is over. We're headed back into the game. As you can see, Boxy just CSing at the tower very well. Didn't miss a single one. Good job. Switch to Agi Treads. I like to see that. People don't do that. Drives me nuts. Extra 10 damage to help you last speed. No reason not to do so. They still, as you said, they did not find this Ward of Sight. So for nearly 13 minutes, they're going to have no pull camp. And that is just so hurtful. Like, that's why their supports are so low level.
Yeah. Fade's actually invised up here. I don't think he's going to be able to actually see them doing Ancients. He's just looking for a gank, but like, all 5 of MRI outside of Behemoth all sitting down bottom, whereas BMG, they're farming the pool camp top, they're farming the jungle dock pool, so Curse is farming mid, and they're taking Ancients. Just from this rotation alone, they're just so far ahead in terms of economics, and we're seeing it on this table here as well. 4,000 gold, 3.7k experience lead now, and MRI, I mean, there's not much else they can do instead of look for ganks, but if they're not finding those ganks, that's where it comes and really falls behind. And I guess it comes from the draft. They don't really have anyone to farm the jungle, no like Warbeast, no Keeper, and as a result, they're not really being very efficient with their resource control.
Indeed. The Ancient stacks are such a huge deal. I mean, they just took one before 12 minutes with a Valkyrie and a Pharaoh. That's so much gold into their pocket. And they weren't really being out-resourced at the time because, again, Accursed is defending middle, and bottom is unsafe. They know that. Fade rotated over to prove it, and they're just doing Ancients. No problem. So not only do they get an advantage from that, but they avoid the 4-man rotation. And again, like what MRR just, they don't have any options. They can't farm to win this game right now, and they still don't have a pull game. They just got the first spawn, and Swiftblade spinning in the jungle. He's actually skipping his counterattack.
Yeah, this is kind of a common build. I don't think the counterattack does much really until the late stage of the game where the attack, your attack damage is doing a lot really. Maybe 1 point in it is okay, but I'd like to see sort of max crit and the max spin. Although perhaps some stats might be in order though, like the mana cost of the Swift Slashes and the Blade Frenzy is about 310. If he's already used a Blade Frenzy before, he won't be able to get his combo off. So that's 1 mana tone, but probably not enough. But he's getting levels now as well, so perhaps won't need any points and stats just yet.
Yep. Another Hasten bottled on Fade. I really think he needs to use this one to score a kill, but he really just can't. And a big part of that is this Doctor went for a very early Vestments. Baltazar making the right call, in my opinion, because he's pretty much going to die to magic damage. The only other thing that can kill him is Swiftblade, and he's just not going to leave his side of the map. So he's very secure up there, unless Fade and another hero can make it all the way up to him. But still, this is the problem. I feel like the only plays MMR are able to make right now are the ones that they would force, and that's just not going to work against BMG's lineup. They're playing a very straightforward, disciplined game. DR is going to start farming the woods, Accursed farming top, he just got his level 6. Mid, you have Pharaoh protected by a ward, and just playing really passive, CSing with Rocket. He sees the Invis Fade, he's not concerned, and again, there are 5 heroes mid, and they're not going to find anything.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Fade's actually going to save up for Portal Key. I mean, the right call, Portal Key Fade, yeah?
This game? Yeah, definitely. Just to note, he actually just stacked Ancients with Rocket as Fusen was stacking the hard camp. So even though, like, this is what I mean, they're just playing such good Han. They're so efficient and playing safe while at the same time maximizing and utilizing every piece of the map they can get their hands on. And in the meantime, they just had 5 heroes mid on MRR and they did nothing. So look at the Golden Experience, they lost 1,000 again. Every time they make this rotation and it fails, they come out further and further behind, and that's not even counting the Ancient stack and this hard camp stack that are about to be farmed out by BMG.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it a little bit before, though, is like, because the Thai teams are so aggressive with their rotation, so always looking for kills, always looking for ganks, it's that kind of high risk, high reward. You know, if it works out, then yeah, great, then, you know, they've got the hero kill, they've got, you know, the Golden Experience back from that, but if it doesn't work, then they're going to get very far behind, because I think that's probably the one criticism I probably could give now of the Thai teams, is that they don't farm very well, and you know, if they don't find the hero kills, which they're not now, which I guess goes back to the Accursed pickup though. He's got a TP ready for him. If there's any kind of rotations, he'll be the first one there to TP and make sure that that gank is not going to be successful. So again, I mean, this to me looks like a bit of an outdraft. For sure.
I think the Accursed really threw them off, and it's one of those heroes that sort of just changes the makeup of the game. You need to, there's no replacement for it, you know? Valkyrie, Pharaoh, Torture, they can all be different heroes, and yeah, it changes it up a bit, but not too much. Accursed is just
defensive
its own
support.
hero.
Yeah, like defensive, like there's very, very few defensive supports, especially middle lane. Pharaoh might be getting in trouble. The Swift Slash does come out, and they are going to secure the kill. So a 5-man rotation from MRR, but at least they do secure the Pharaoh. Unfortunately, a Cursed TP was sort of cancelled in the end because he realised he already was dead. So too quick to him to rotate.
It just, I don't think it matters. He had forced a little bit of a rotation from BMG, who also, by the way, have a ward in the Hellboard, or in the MRR Ancients. I really like this decision. Fusen's really on top of his game, but they kill 3 ultimates, 5 people to kill a Pharaoh. They don't care. Dr. Repulsor's still free farming. Valk's taking all the nice space that he has bottom. It's just not worth it, and they're getting further and further ahead just because they're out-resourcing their opponents.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm thinking something, what they need to right now, though, is they need to secure at least one lane. Valkyrie's been free farming down here. I mean, Pharaoh's been practically free farming mid, and Dr. Repulsor has been farming top as well. They need to secure some lanes, and I guess they're going to try and secure mid, but that's a hard lane to secure. Oh, there is actually some of an interesting Congo kill going on now as well, and MRR, I don't think they even know this is going on. I mean, it's very, very early. I doubt they expect it.
Yeah. Pharaoh's one of the best Kong-taking heroes in the game. The Hellfire will interrupt all of his attacks for a good 10 seconds as it's active. One of my favorite Hellboard heroes for that reason. And it makes Kong really easy to take down. Just a note, Accursed got level 8 from just farming top while Doctor was in the jungle. I mean, they're just resourcing very, very well. Maintaining a lead as, you know, again, MRR, they're just 5 heroes. They are frightened, they're scared, they don't see anybody. They might think it was a Valken Viz, but it's not. It's a free Kongor. And now I expect them, bottoms pushing, tops pushing, just 5-man this mid tower, gain map control. Fusen placed both of his wards already, so they won't be able to ward up just yet, but this is a free tower.
Yeah, and MRR, there's no way they can really defend. Fade is here with Invis, but no way they can fight that at the tier 1 against Tony. He's going to perhaps try and get like a deny. Can he get is the question. He's not even going to risk it. So he's going to back off, or is he? No, he's going to back off. Doesn't want to risk their choice. But yeah, I mean, BMG, the one criticism we've given them sometimes is that they don't have ways of really forcing any kind of rotation, any sort of objectives. But with the token and being this far ahead, I mean, they can go ahead and just start taking the mid tower.
And they are able to take the bottom tower out. The Rune Cleaver was finished on Punk Bang with 2,000 gold to boot.
He's got good farm, to be fair. 500 GPM. So, I mean, if there is anything that MRR can do in this game, it's going to come from Swiftblade. And his next time, business goal, would you say?
Probably. He'll need to go Geos soon because he's going to be up against the Hellflower. And
you can't Geos at a Hellflower.
No, but you can pop it early at least.
Yeah,
and
true.
Utilize the ability. Maybe Shrunken Head would be better, but it's just such a good item against Swiftblade because it offers you so much lockdown, and he would have to preemptively Geos or spin in order to ensure that he does not go down. Vindicator ult can help with that.
Fade's going to stop the invis or the TPA here from Pharaoh. I don't think that's what he can do anything else, so he's going to pull Key away. Just not worried about it.
Yep, Falcon Viz was popped though, so at least he blows that cooldown.
So Token now up for BMG for 3 minutes. Looks like they're going to try and pressure the top tower as well. And like I said, MRR, there's no way they can fight Spin. Nearly 7,000 gold behind. I mean, they haven't got like level 6 Glacius. They do have Portal Keep Behemoth, but fighting against Token, I mean, I think all they want to defend now is probably their base.
Yep. And look, this is the Torturer pick once again paying dividends. Like, it just adds so much to this push. They can take this tower an extra creep wave faster. And that's just such a big deal. They're now 8,000 gold ahead, 5,000 experience, Mini.
So we've got some double stack engines over here. Most likely BMG going to be taking them very, very shortly. And now, yeah, it's nearly 8.5 thousand gold ahead. Fade looking to go like into a Shrunken Head, most likely with that Mighty Blade pickup. I mean, is there anything else you would like to see?
I think it's solid. I really want someone to get a tablet, but no one will have one for quite a while, it appears. And I think that was the better item on Fade.
Yep, I agree as well. I mean, fighting against a Pharaoh just seems a lot more better. And not only that, but Shrunken Head on Fade just seems a little bit weird to me. Like, you're not going to get too much value out of your auto attacks because you're a Fade, and you've got very, very minimal farm as well. But they are going to actually ult up on here down bottom. Valkyrie might be in trouble, but BMG are around as well. Fade comes out, does pop up, but here comes a shockwave coming out from Behemoth. They are going to secure the kill on Valkyrie, but that's going to be it. BMG going to try and return, actually. Doctor Pulse has forward, and they're going to Pharaoh onto Behemoth. Behemoth most likely is going to go down. Looks like that's all they're going to get. Yep,
and that's the problem right there. Pharaoh hooked in, doesn't matter that they've Indy ulti, he's dead. And there's no save if Pharaoh catches somebody right now. Every hero on the Legion side, they can't do anything. Swift can spin, sure, pop his ulti, but as soon as the Doctor finishes Hellflower, that no longer is an option.
Definitely. So Token still up on Doctor Pulse now for 1 minute 30. Going to rotate down bottom. They're going to take the tier 1 tower. Perhaps going to try and pressure their tier 2. I mean, MRR, they're forced to split push, but there is a TP coming in from a curse in the middle lane. And just only a simple curse is forcing MRR just to have the whole team rotate as well.
Indeed. And again, I go back to this. Torture just pushing bottom with Doctor. They take the tower or creep wave faster, and it's such a good pick here. I really like it, and it's what's enabling them to just press so hard with this token advantage. And there's the Hellflower finished on the Doctor, by the way.
Yeah, Hellflower is going to be very, very useful against the Swiftblade because now he's got to pick up the Assassin's Shroud as well. So he'd be able to probably almost solo kill the Swiftblade if he can get his hands on him, and obviously stop him from Blade Frenzying as well. And looks like they are going to pressure down the tier 2 down bottom as well. MRR, all they want to be doing is defending their base and trying to space split push mid, split push top. And then just focus on the base when BMG will start pushing.
Yeah, I really like the itemization from BMG as well. I think Doctor's items are perfect. Nullstone into Hellflower. You already have an Abyssal Skull and the Accursed. It's 5 armor and 16% damage to the entire team. Valk's going to be going Nullfire, Purges off Silence, Glacius Imprisonment, etc. And Pharaoh's going to go Puzzle Box just to add to the push in the team fight. I'm okay with all of those choices. They're 12,000 gold ahead. 5,000 experience, and they're in a dominating position right now. Yeah, Doctor dives in, going right for the Swiftblade. Hellflowered arrow on top. He's dead immediately. Fade's going to stun 3, lands the call onto the Pharaoh, but they're just not able to kill anything, Mini. The Impalement's still running. The tower taking heavy damage. There is no buyback on Punk Bang. He bought out an Assassin Shroud, but he was a huge dunk. That's a double stun as well.
Oh my goodness!
Crap, everything is dead. Accursed, forced to run away. He has a bound eye. They need to take him out. A good mummy to cover. Vindicator's going to land a brain drain on top. They want to chase this Accursed, No mana on the Behemoth just yet. He uses the blink. He has nothing. They're going to try and turn around. Another big stun by Fade.
Wow.
Wow.
What did we just see, Swindle? What was that? I mean, that Behemoth OE was massive.
That is why Behemoth is the hero of this tournament right there. Wow. There was so much damage. I hope we can get a replay queued up because I'm pretty sure he just went full MJ and just took the Bulls to the 7th championship right there. That was crazy.
That was a look. We've got a replay of it here. Doxer obviously goes in. They kill the Swiftblade instantly, and it's looking really, really good for BMG.
He hits the triple Fisher, then the triple Fade stun on top, keeps them in their base, and then as you'll see, he's just going to run over and just dunk them, and they're just not ready for it. Look at all the creeps around. Oh my gosh.
My goodness, man. And then obviously the triple face stun again. Jeez, man, these guys are on top of it. And yeah, they're 9,000 gold behind, but that Behemoth Portcat, I think he was level 10 at the time as well. I'm not 100% sure, but obviously, I mean, clearly MRR, they've got still good base defense.
They're 5 towers behind right now, so that 9,000 gold, it's still on the map for them to get.
True.
If they can win one more team fight, they'll actually be very far ahead because then they take towers, they get their map control back, and they're golden. There's a Valk Invis that was not seen by this ward, and they still have triple H. It's interesting. This is BMG. They're getting aggressive. And right there, that's the problem. Trying to go high ground into Behemoth Fade, even if you're very far ahead, they land stuns on a lot of your heroes, they're all going to die. The Swiftblade wasn't alive for that engagement.
True.
He was 500 GPM. That's their source of damage, and it wasn't necessary. Like, that's just insane. Don't agree with the Assassin Shroud pickup, by the way. It's not terrible because it is kind of bad. You're still dead if you're health flowered, but it will at least allow him to get his ultimate off in fights. But who's he going to go for? The Torturer? The Pharaoh? Pharaoh can just pop the puzzle box, start hook onto him. Will the arrow hit is the question. He didn't spin. Oh, man. It was actually on cooldown.
I think he was spinning on the wave, yeah.
And
obviously,
you're right.
One thing as well, with the Assassin's Shroud, obviously, the puzzle box it makes Assassin's Shroud almost very, very weak. I mean, what would you have liked to have seen instead of the Assassin's Shroud anyway?
Jeez, anything, but I would be okay with a Shrunken Head, a Frostburn, an Abyssal Skull. It's really his call. Looks like the Behemoth will be going for a refresher. He's Veiled Rotted up. And Fade does finish her Shrunken Head. Swiftblade dead again. Can they repeat the magic of the last fight? They get the top tower thanks to creeps. That's, oh man,
Swiftblade does have buyback actually as well.
Yeah, this is going to be the fight. They will go for this. There's the glyph. I want the Fade to initiate, Behemoth to wait, and then they just boom, wombo combo. But they're playing a lot smarter this time. BMG is not going to clump up with 5 on the hill anymore. Torture has to be very, very careful because he will just straight up die. 700 health. He does have investment, but that isn't going to help him very much against the current Legion roster. And they do get the tower now, but that's all they're going to get.
Yeah, they're going to back up. They were scared, obviously, Swiftblade coming up there. But an interesting item picks up across the border. A Lex Talionis of Vindicator, then a Nullfire Blade on the Valkyrie, and obviously the puzzle box level 2 now on the Pharaoh now as well. So quickly, first of all, Lex Talionis and Vindicator.
I like it. They're missing damage, and they really need it. And there's no better item to increase your team's damage output than a Lex Talionis, especially if you're playing a Vindicator. I mean, it was either that or a tablet. He's just so far from that, it's not realistic to think he can get one. And it doesn't add damage. I think the Lex is the best item here. Also, it looks like Balthazar will be going for a Shrunken Head as his next item. He has enough gold for it right now.
Oh, Shockwave actually. They're going to try and catch the Pharaoh. Pharaoh, he's in though. Big initiation. Valkyrie does go. Switch flashes onto the Pharaoh. They kill the Valkyrie, they kill the Pharaoh, and that's going to be the team fight right there.
Yeah, Doctor might chase. He's going to jump in, but he's got Glyph of Silence. He does not have his BKB up either. They're not going to... Oh, man, I would love to see them go for that.
Still?
Do they not have mana? Behemoth had a stun. Oh, wow. I think they could have definitely gotten some more kills there. The Doctor oomed himself jumping in. He finishes the Shrunken Head now, but that was a very grievous oversight by Balthazar. He should have paid with that. That's just MRR. Like, they're very, very timid right now. And although I will say the tier 1 is still up, they might have been afraid of buybacks.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. But they still kill the Valkyrie, they kill the Pharaoh as well. So although, 9,000 gold behind, you're right, Swindle. All this advantage really comes down to the towers, and that's because, BMG, they had such a great laning phase and that they, used that momentum to really take down the towers and have this gold lead. But the experience, I mean, it's dead equal.
Yep. A Bulwark picked up on a Curse, by the way. Not sure if that's really the items he should be going. I would prefer more team support items, a Sacrificial Stone, for example, which no one seems to like. It's like the greatest item in the game, and no one believes me. Either that, maybe an Astrolabe. A tablet's not bad either, but I don't know. Bulwark does boost his team's damage output, but I just don't think that's going to be the issue. They need CC and survivability. The only way they're going to lose a fight is if Fade Behemoth just hit massive stunts. And Behemoth actually went Spell Shards, and as I think you discussed,
I think I like it. I like it now.
It's more effective the more magic armor
Yep.
the team picks up. And every member of BMG,
Yep.
you make the point. You make the point.
Yeah,
What
no,
do they all
I
have?
Yeah, so they've all got vestments, so it makes the value of the spell shard just that much more effective, because now it's taking up 5 magic armor instead of only 2.5 because they all have vestments. But they do pick up the Conqueror as well in the background. But quickly, the Valkyrie going the Nullfire Blade, what's your big thoughts on that?
It's not bad. I think it's mostly just to purge the silence. I would have preferred a Geo's because I think it gives them stronger late game presence, but there's really no problem with Nullfire. It's a solid item in general, and it's got a lot of utility. So we'll see how that works out. The Doctor has the Aegis, or the token, and that is arguably, it's the best hero in the game to have one, to be honest. And they're going to start pressuring this Rax. No glyph available. There's the initiation by Fate. He gets the accursed as well. No Vindy Silence just yet. The Doctor popped his BKB. He's going down a huge dunk. Oh my gosh, Doctor's so low, out of mana, already used his Shrunk, but the Swift Blade catches an arrow. He's going to go down. The Doctor dies as well, but he's going to get the Aegis respawn. Another stun comes out. Torture very, very low. Doctor going to dive in. He gets frozen, and he gets purged immediately by Boxy. Well played. That's the only reason he was able to secure that kill on Glacius. That was a 3-second imprisonment otherwise. I don't believe they're going to get anything else out of that, but holy crap. If they had killed the Doctor right after he BKB'd, they would have been able to kill him again. Fade's going to stun. He misses the stun, gets Hellflowered. He's going to go down. Nice stun by Fusen as well. Arrow onto the Vindicator. Boxy playing so well. Lands the Purge as well. That's going to be another kill. A full team wipe. Looks like Swiftblade buys back, and they're just going to run away.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, that MRR, they still keep their racks. Yes, they do use a buyback from Swiftblade. That Behemoth, though, Swindle, still make it so much work. And honestly, because obviously she's got the spell shards, it actually completely nullifies the vestments completely now. Because obviously 50% off, that makes into like 5 magic armor, which is the same as if they didn't have vestments in the first place. It looks like we have a replay, though.
He was just, yeah, we're going into it right now. The only issue is this Doctor, he gets his BKB off, and then jumps in, and then jumps out, jumps back in, is able to finish the Behemoth. The Swiftblade gets arrowed, so he lands the kill. He did so much damage with no health or mana, just auto-attacking away, and he hits very hard at this stage of the game. And look how quick this purge is. Yeah, half a second.
Solid, man. Boxy's playing really, really good at this tournament. We talked about it, but I mean, if we're going to think about like a player MVP of this tournament, I mean, it's going to be hard to say Boxy wasn't that MVP because he's been playing solid. So, and then Faye goes in actually with the Hellflower, gets Hellflower up, jumps in. A kind of a questionable play. I think the biggest questionable play for me is that if Swiftblade's going to buy back, he has to be in that team fight with the Vindicator, with the Faye when he jumps in. But he's forced by, I mean, at least he saved the racks, but again, now that there's 6,000 got experience behind and a 13,000 gold behind, but I mean, as long as they got Behemoth ultimates, man, they're still in this game. It feels like. Oh
yeah, for sure. I mean, again, they have massive team fight. Like the Behemoth himself can just win them the fight. It's so much damage, and it's if he lands, let's say on 3, the heavyweight stuns for 1.5 seconds, right? Alt. 1.5 second stun, W 1.5 second stun, and then the Fisher, I believe, is a full 2. No, 1.75. 5 seconds of CC and easily 1,000 AoE damage. That plus a Vindicator ult can wreck BMG in a fight. And the only reason that one went well was because Doctor had the token, and he's not going to have that for quite a while. So we'll see what they choose to do, but I don't see BMG giving them a favorable team fight until they get the next Aegis. And we'll just have to see what happens, but I don't think they're going to give them any space. The Fade is level 16 now, however, so he will almost always have his ultimate up and ready, so he should be able to potentially find a pickoff here. They do find the Doctor. Oh, this is big.
Oh,
this
Doctor.
Is big. There's the stun. He goes in. Behemoth immediately ults. Stun. Boom.
Wow.
Dead. Worth it, though. That was very, very worth it.
What can they do? What can they capitalize? What kind of objectives can they get right now?
Mid-tower right now is what they need. Boxy, or rather, Balthazar, no buyback dead for 70 seconds. They could actually translate this into 2 towers, but they're only going to get 1 because they're going to be fearful of the buyback. Shrunken Head finished on the Swiftblade, by the way.
Yeah, do you like that pickup?
I do. I think they will initiate almost every fight. The Pharaoh's the only real catch they have at this stage of the game because the DR just can't commit. if he goes in, pops the Shrunken, and then catches a Vindy Silence, gets stunned earlier, it's just not realistic for him to be the guy going in. And you have a Fade, a Behemoth, and a Vindy ulti to initiate with. So I think it's safe to say that almost every fight they'll get the jump, and he wants to be able to just Shrunken head, run in, attack, get his ult off, and then rely on spin. He needs to survive for those 10 seconds because, as we've said, the only way they're winning a fight is with the kills and the duration of that first Vindicator ulti, the Behemoth jump. It has to be a quick team fight.
Has to be one more combo.
Exactly, and that's what he needs to do. And you see Quincy putting a stat on stage. TR's never lost under these circumstances.
Wow.
And it's definitely looking hard for MRR, but the score is 12-11. They're on their home turf. The crowd's been relatively dead because they're seeing the disadvantage they're at, but I don't know if they'll feel that far behind. Boxy, by the way, narrowly surviving top to the Fade. Doesn't look like Swiftblade was able to get his ultimate off on him, so would have been a very nice kill, but they do miss it, unfortunately.
It looks like it's going to be a null stone here for Valkyrie as well. I mean, obviously, it's going to be useful against the Vindy Silence, but do you think the null stone's that useful on a Valkyrie in this game?
Did he pick up the Sustainer, or are you just guessing?
No, he's got the null stone. Yeah, he picked up the null stone. I saw
oh, interesting.
Shot already. Full item already.
I really like Geo's because it can dispel the ultimate of Vindicator.
True.
And you can also dispel Ice Imprisonment, you can juke Fade Stun, you can negate Swiftblade slashes. Nullstone's not bad, and to me that might signify that they're trying to throw the game late because it's a more of a farming item. I'm just not sure that that's really the path they want to go because Vindicator, going high ground against MRR is already difficult, and it's only going to get more so as the game progresses.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, but with the Geos as well, you got to figure out, like, if he goes Geos, then it's almost increasing the potential of Behemoth, obviously, because he can actually use even more Shockwave damage with the illusions from Valkyrie, because obviously they count as heroes. So I can understand why he's got another stone here, but still, it's going to be useful there. It looks like BMG are going to push in, though. They're pushing in without token, and if you remember the last team fight, the biggest thing why they won that, I think, was the token on Dr. Pulsar. Maybe they're not going to push in, they're thinking about it regardless. But I definitely think if BMG are going to push high ground, they need to have that token.
Indeed, I would 100% agree, especially with the DR. It is just the best hero to have an Aegis on. There's no reason, especially as Hellborn, to ever make any moves without that item. And he's going to be able to finish his Sheepstick, get the Aegis, and that'll be their timing to win.
But one thing actually that I thought about is that, yeah, I mean, token on Dr. Pulsar is great, and also you refresh all your mana, but say, for example, say if MRR are that solid in terms of their execution of play, that when Doctor has token, he uses all his mana, okay, and then they don't kill him. But Doctor without mana is not going to be that useful, so the token on him is
dude, look how much damage he's dealing for auto attack.
I guess he's doing a lot of damage with Sheepstick as well, but
he hits as hard as the Swiftblade. And it's not like his attack speed is anything to sneeze at, as he does have that Hellflower, which I believe gives about 30. Only 30, but still. I mean, he'll hit hard. I mean, we saw in that last fight, even without the Hex, that he still did a lot of damage. And it's just tough. I mean, if you look at their advantage, 14,000 gold, 9,000 experience, they're doing exactly what they need to do. They're staying ahead, and they're furthering their advantage. There's just not much this Fade can do to go for anything here. He's getting a lot of information. He's making space, but MRR just not really confident in their ability to take fights right now.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit before, but Fade has gone Shrunken head. Like, I'm not a big fan of that though, because like we talked about, like Fade, like the auto attacks aren't really going to offer too much, and the magic damage is kind of only coming out of Dr. Repulsor, which is a lot of single target damage. And obviously, you don't really want to be sort of turning the attention of Dr. Repulsor on someone else outside of your Fade, because once you use your stun, once you use your ultimate, you're not really offering too much in terms of the team fight. So pick up the Shrunken head, I'm not a big fan of. I think the puzzle box would have offered him a little bit more. It would give him even more map control, obviously, because he could deboard with those, and obviously useful just in terms of the team fight as well, managing the Dr. Repulsor, but he's going to have to live with it now. Yeah,
I mean, if you look, they're just putting on a clinic here. If you envision the Legion base with like a hockey crease around it, they're keeping the goalie like just boxed in, and he can't leave. They're going to zip top for Swiftblade. He gets Hellflowered. He's dead. Arrow on top, boom, gone.
No buyback as well. I think he just bought out. I don't know what he bought, but he bought something, and he's got no buyback.
And that's a Frostfield plate, actually, on Balthazar, which I 100% agree with. They don't need the Sheepstick, and I should have recognized that, but that just gives them so much survivability and vision as well when they dive into base. And
middle lane.
It's going to be so hard to kill him.
Yeah, Behemoth nearly went down just to the puzzle box muses from Ferrer and out of Curse actually. But yeah, I like that Frostfield plate as well. But it completely negates any kind of physical presence that's coming out from the Swiftblade. I think the Sheepstick would have been good as well, but I mean they've got the Health Flyer to stop the Shrunken Head from Swiftblade anyway, so he doesn't need double lockdown, not just yet anyway.
Indeed. Boxy's going to upgrade the Nullfire Blade. Pharaoh, I believe puzzle 3, right? Of course.
Yeah.
A Blink Bulwark on the Accursed. Torture finishing a Tablet. And there's just nothing new on this Legion side. I believe the Swift finished a Genjuro, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah,
and it looks like they're just going to push bottom with the 20 seconds, no Swiftblade.
It's all on the Behemoth, man.
Pretty much. There's the Glyph, a little early for my tastes. They're going to want to initiate when Swiftblade's got about 5 seconds left on his respawn so he can TP in, but they're only giving them 1 target. So I think Fade just got to blink in, stun, get a little something going, try and bait them to engage. But nope. They're going to play smart on BMG. Like I said, they're in no rush. They're no hurry. They're increasing their lead slowly but surely. 16,000 gold, 13,000 experience. They have way better catch. Their team fight is much stronger at this point. They just need to make sure they do not throw.
Yeah, I mean, Kongo's up as well. Looks like they're probably going to rotate to there. I mean, they've got Fade on the board. Probably one of the best almost Kongo aggressive because you can see all the way into the Kongo pit, obviously, as he's doing right now. I mean, MRR, they have the ability to jump into Kongo if they want to, but Glacier's sitting back. I mean, not a big threat in the team fights, but still going to have an impact. So MRR are looking to sort of set up to try and defend.
They're going to fight this. This will be the fight for the game. No Glaciers, however. Big blink style on 3. Oh my goodness! With another dunk. He can't get the Fisher off. There's the spin from Swiftblade. The barely alive Accursed. He did use his ultimate already. He's going to go down. 2 dead already. Dr. Repulsor is down.
They can't even see the Accursed though. They've got no vision. The Valkyrie Prison is finishing up in 1 second. They're going to see the Accursed. Can they catch him before Portal Key? They can. He's going to go down most likely as well. They use ulti. They're going to kill Accursed. They're going to take Konga as well. Actually, Glacier's going down. Fate goes down as well. What is happening? The buyback from Valkyrie. No, it wasn't a buyback. They're going to kill Vindicator as well. The Swiftblade is here. He picks up the bananas instead of he's got the token as well. Oh my goodness. That was a great hold from MRR though. For BMG.
And that was, again, all Boxy. Lands the arrow on Behemoth. Boom. He's dead. And Fade just dies to the auto attacks, and then they go right for the Vindicator, the Glaciers, whoever that last support player was that died. And again, like a team fight goes.
Look at this replay though. Look at that shockwave. Oh my goodness though. I think honestly, them not having vision was a big impact as well. They couldn't kill the Accursed earlier. The Pharaoh survived as well. But I mean, when they didn't kill Valkyrie, he just came back and just destroyed the Fade and the Vindicator by himself.
Yeah, look how much damage Fade takes from Kongor. It's just wailing on him, and look. The damage from Accursed was just insane. He got off his Q and his W, and then Kong was enough to just kill the Fade. And that's all because they don't have sentries. Otherwise, the Accursed, as you said, dies immediately. And instead of spinning in a circle, Swiftblade pops his ultimate and just takes him out.
But you have to remember, Swiftblade got the token now. He's got bananas as well. So, I mean I still think that MRR comes out ahead in that team fight, in that engagement. Yeah, they lost, I think, 3 or 4, but token on Swiftblade, bananas on Swiftblade as well, most likely. He picks up Firebrand. They might be dropping the bananas to someone else.
Oh, look at the damage done. Behemoth at 18%.
Oh my!
More than twice Swiftblade.
Higher than everyone else, man. This has been a pretty crazy game. Yeah, BMG have been ahead, but I mean. It's 40 minutes in and they haven't even got racks. This game is a lot closer than what the stat line tells us.
And if you keep in mind, like the advantage has been over 10K for quite a while now. And if you look at the total gold, it's 71,000 to 56,000. But still, the longer the game goes, the less important that advantage is. Right now, it's pretty much just 3 items. And the issue is that Valkyrie did survive and got a lot of gold out of that engagement. He'll have a Geometer's Blade finished soon, and to be honest, if it weren't for this Behemoth, I don't think MRR would have a chance. But the Fade needs to spend his money, but on what? I'm actually not sure what item gives them a chance.
I mean, I was going to say Puzzle Box, but I mean, Puzzle Box 40 minutes into the game just doesn't offer him that too much.
It's got to be a Sheep, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you rush Sheepstick. I mean, you're facing against Dr. Pulsar or Valkyrie, but I mean, they've got Nullstones as well. You don't have too much to really take that off outside of the Vindicator ulti. I mean, do you want a Vindicator ulti into a Sheepstick? I guess it's okay, but not great. But quickly, I mean, they got bananas on Behemoth, actually. I mean, it's one of those heroes that, I mean, none of the heroes outside of Swiftblade really offers too much with the region because they don't offer too much outside of just their spells. But I guess it's better than sort of, I mean, actually,
they spotted Fade. He immediately blinked out. Hook missed, unfortunately. I would like to see MRR take this fight. I don't know if they're going to get a better opportunity. They have Aegis. BMG is content to fight them. You've got to take it. You won't get a better opportunity. They're not going to enter your base. Yeah. Like, you have Aegis. You didn't take it now or never.
Nah, Doctor spots out the Fade, actually, so he's going to get away quite safely. I think actually I have to agree with you, not because BMG are just out farming him, but also because I think if they fight out a base in terms of chaos, like a chaotic fight, say near Kongo, for example, BMG, their positioning is not going to be key, but when they're sieging their base, you saw that diamond formation they had. They had Valkyrie up on the front, sieging their base by himself. Whereas in a chaotic team fight where Swiftblade goes in, Fade goes in, they all can clump up, and Behemoth closing in on the level 16, that ultimate can almost wipe the team fight of BMG completely.
Indeed. And he's going to go for a refresher, most certainly. I mean, that's just such a strong item here. And that's really what's going to potentially win them the late game. And again, Swiftblade does scale very well, but I will say, like, Dr. Valkyrie is a very fearsome dual core combo. Ranged heroes against Swiftblade, just very solid. And they're going to take this tier 1 mid. I like this decision. Yeah. They need to get something out of this Aegis. They need to make a little bit of pressure.
And Swindle, we still got a game, man. This game was looking kind of grim, obviously, from MRR, but they're definitely bouncing back. I mean, one thing I'd like to talk about is that Valkyrie, though. I mean, look at his items. I mean, like, he's gone... obviously, one Energizer, no Fireblade, and no Stun. I mean, he's not dishing out a lot of damage. I mean, one critic I've seen about Valkyrie carry is that he doesn't really offer as much as, say, the carries like Swiftblade, like the carries like, Gemini, Darkblade, for example. And unless he's 6-slotted, which clearly he's not, it doesn't offer too much in the team fights.
His utility right now is not the greatest. Or rather, he just went utility items.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. The utility is great, but the damage potential in team fights is a little bit lacking.
Exactly. When Valkyrie gets scary is when he gets to, like, the 6-slot mark, because the hero's so tough to take down.
Dr. Repulsor.
They don't have any way to cancel the nullstone, though. Oh, yes, they do. They do.
Whoa!
Oh,
too close.
No.
And now they're going to counter-rise. Actually, Fade's going to pop the Shrunken Head. Should be fine, actually. He's going to get away. The Vindicator Silence actually did take off the nullstone from Dr. Repulsor. I mean, I don't know whether you take... I don't know whether you actually get rid of the nullstone with the Swiftblade and actually make sure you use the Vindicator.
No, they had to, because... like, he just BKBs it off.
Yeah, true. Anyway. No, you're right.
I mean,
he had 50 HP, man, for a 1,708 HP.
Do you know what? I just realized what Fade needs to go.
What?
He needs to get an item to cancel that nullstone.
Tablet.
There's 2 of them now. I mean, anything really. Tablet or Stormspear.
He's playing against a Pharaoh as well. He needs to go Tablet. Like, this Shrunken Head, I really disagree with this Shrunken Head. We mentioned it a little bit before, but yeah, of course, Tablet. It was definitely the item here to go.
Yep.
Cancel that.
And maybe that changes it. I'm not sure. It makes it at least
if he has Tablet there, that Doctor does, without a doubt.
Yep. I mean, it would have canceled the nullstone much faster, and it doesn't require 3 players timing. And now it requires just 2.
That's true.
It could have been a little quicker. We'll see. Maybe if he could get a sheep stick though, that is such a huge item. And well, we'll see what he chooses to do. There is no... Is there a bound eye? No, there's no... No, it's on Valkyrie.
Valkyrie's on. Yeah, I mean, if he goes Tablet into sheep stick instead of the Shrunken Head, I think this game would be a lot better. Actually, top lane, though, Curse might be in trouble.
Damn, but there's a huge jump in from Doctor. He's actually going to take out the Behemoth by himself up top. Yep, they're going to take out Ruta Z. So
he had bananas. Behemoth isn't dead yet. They are going to use the Pharaoh, but those bananas at least making him a lot harder to bring down, and looks like they're going to pressure the tier 2 tower top as well in the meantime.
Yep. He might actually be able to take it down. He's doing a lot of damage. He's going to force
I think he switched flashes a little bit too early now. Oh, he's going to be fine though, I think.
Maybe. He's still in this.
Valkyrie's coming up. Oh, these switched. I mean, the Blade Frenzy was definitely out of time. He's going to spot him now, and he has to Shrunken Beak. Yeah, and TP. Nice. Good job. That was close, but he didn't have to use that.
Good decision.
Good decision. I think if he used the Blade Frenzy a little bit later, he didn't have to do that because he could have just Blade Frenzy TP'd from the tower, but at least he doesn't die. That would have been a disaster.
Yeah, indeed. It's an interesting item choice. He's going back for the Frostburn.
Look at this Ward of Sight actually in the Hellborn base. Placed just by Fade in the Hellborn base, right near the fountain almost.
I mean, see, this is the thing. MRR, they have 1 ward in the... Oh, no, that's actually essential. They only have really, really aggressive vision. They don't have any information about the movements of BMG once they step towards their side of the map. They do have a Fade, however, who has been playing increasingly aggressive, and it's just really nice to watch. He's just chilling in trees, looking for openings, and he's found a couple. They just weren't able to execute.
He's going to fund Dr. Repulsor here as well, and they don't have any kind of detection outside of Pharaoh Puzzle Box minions, but I don't think he's going to use them just when he's farming creeps. But yeah, this Fade, though, I mean, a hero we rarely really see actually in the international scene, and it's showing a lot of work here. Bottom lane, Swiftblade going to go on the Curse. I don't think they can kill him by himself. He does have the ulti, and actually BMG are definitely close by. This could be risky. He's going to go on him already. He is popped by the Curse. Here comes the rotation from BMG, and here comes the instant Shrunken Head TP, and nice. I think he should be fine. Yeah, they're both going to be fine.
Yeah,
so
that is... Like, there's no way for them to cancel that at all. And I don't
Savage.
know.
They need a Savage on Valkyrie, perhaps.
Yeah, indeed. That's his next item for sure. That was one of the comments I was going to make. Val gets scary when he gets that Savage Mace. Not like it just. He already has insane attack speed, but he just doesn't do that much damage. And once he finishes Savage Mace, not only can he interrupt the TPs, but he'll start doing like hard carry DPS.
Yeah. I agree, definitely. I mean, MRR, they're 16,000 gold behind. They do have a level 16 Behemoth right now. He just turned level 16. Obviously, was delayed a little bit after that death, and he's closing in on his Resto Stone as well. This could be amazing comeback. I mean, imagine a double Behemoth ulti on BMG.
That is scary.
It could be massive.
Oh, man. I don't know. He doesn't quite have the mana pool for a couple combos, though. That's the only issue. So that's my concern. He won't be able to do his proper combo. If he can ult Fisher, then yes, that's amazing. But he won't have the mana pool to do that for quite some time. They're going to get the top tower. That's nice.
Well, Fade is here in Viz, actually. They're going to try to go on the Valkyrie. They're going to find the Valkyrie. Geo's out of the Fade stun, it looked like. Actually, Glacier's most likely going to fall as a result. Dr. Repulsor comes in at 5-second arrow. They are definitely going to skew. They're going to try and go for more as well, actually. Behemoth Shockwave just onto the Dr. Repulsor. Can they kill him is the question. Yes, they can. They're going to go on the Valkyrie now as well. Valkyrie going down. Valkyrie's closing in. A Curse going to go down as well, but he does have his ultimate as well. He should be fine. He's going to use it right now. Swiftblade completely shut off from his team. Dr. Repulsor, Valkyrie on the left here should be fine as well. They use the Valkyrie Prism, and they are going to get away. They're going to. Behemoth's actually going to find him. Can they kill him is the question. Actually, the Behemoth's turning. Here comes the Valkyrie. Here comes the Fade. They are going to secure the Valkyrie though, and again, MRR Swindle, they are holding in. Yeah, again, Behemoth, just the perfect decision. It's a shame he went down there. He did find Boxy, who, again, really heads up play. I love that. He knew he was dead. Boom, arrow, get the kill at least. Further his advantage. He did not buy out, unfortunately, but MRR, they're holding strong. The advantage is now going to be about 10,000 once they take down this mid-tier 2. Yeah, Dr. Repulsor does have a bite as well as Valkyrie, though they have to be careful. They are pressuring their tier 2 tower. I mean, do BMG buy back here is the question. No, they don't want to buy back here. No reason to. And again, just Behemoth, the decision-making, not wait. He did not conserve his ultimate. Notice the Dr. Repulsor. No BKB. Boom. Take him out, and they need that kill. Yeah, if they kill the Doctor, they can win the team fight, and that's exactly what he did. Exactly. Conga is up now. This is going to be a big point for contention. Shockwave is still down, even though Behemoth is still dead as well. And BMG are most likely going to look for it. Swiftblade actually going to find the Valkyrie. This is risky, though. Dr. Repulsor is coming up in 5 seconds, and they're not going to go for it. Storm Spirit on the Torture. That's a huge item. I'm glad they picked that up. That is the greatest counter initiation in the game. We've got a replay here actually as well. So, and this is where, so they start looking to go on the Valkyrie actually. Geo's off of that, that should be fine. And then this is where they start turning actually. The Glaciers does get caught out as well as the 5-second arrow. And Dr. Pulse goes a little bit too after it, and here comes the Shockwave from it. They kill the Dr. Pulsar easily. Follow up from Behemoth. They kill down the Dr. Pulsar, and this is where they turns here for MRR. Swift Flashes nearly kills the Valkyrie. If they kill the Valkyrie, that would have been a huge team fight turn, but they don't. Unfortunately, they couldn't kill the Cursed. Swiftblade eventually backs off. And Dr. Repulsor, is that illusion? Yeah. Looks like illusion. I really like that. He popped his ultimate, and in the spin, took no damage because he was healing, and then was able to blink out while still invisible to escape from the Swiftblade. Because otherwise, he does die there if he can't get his blink out. Really heads-up decision. And they're going to be going for Kongor. This is going to be the fight that decides the game. Shockwave is up, level 16 Behemoth. Let's see how this goes down. Yeah, this is very, very close right now. Neither team really want to initiate. Swiftblade picks up a DD. This could be massive. Starts going on the torch already. Pops the trunk in. Unfortunately, isn't able to kill him. Watch out the Behemoth. Oh, this could be, if they clump, this could be dangerous actually. Behemoth Shockwave onto 3. Catches Pharaoh, catches Glacius. Dr. Repulsor half HP. They kill the Pharaoh instantly. Fade is looking low. The sheepstick onto Valkyrie. Valkyrie's getting low. They kill the Valkyrie. Dr. Repulsor, can they kill him is the question. Hellfire onto Swiftblade. And no, they back off. Valkyrie buys back for his final buyback. They're buyback, and MRR going to fall back. Now, Conga is low, though. Can they? They're going to capitalize. They're most likely going to pick up the token here onto the Dr. Repulsor. They regen up. This is going to be a token on Dr. Repulsor. Shockwave down. Can MRI hold on? No, they need to just let this go. They need to let this go. All right. There was no chance for them, and in all honesty, that's not too bad because Doctor has so much gold that the Aegis isn't that big of a deal because if he didn't have it, he would just have another item. So it just doesn't matter that much. It's obviously difficult, but they won that fight. They forced the last buyback on Valkyrie. 420 GPM. Him not being able to return to a fight is a big deal, and they did not give him the Aegis. So all this does is change the strategy. They need to immediately kill the Valkyrie, and then they will do enough damage throughout the team fight. And I love this item choice. Wing Bow on Swiftblade. No Savage Mage picked up just yet. I think the biggest thing right now, though, is that Shockwave down for 35 seconds. We've seen the impact of this team fight and this spell in particular. It's been holding MRR on, and with it down up for 25 seconds, I mean, BMG
Fade did get a sheep stick. We didn't notice that, but
that's true.
He saved a lot for that item, and it is so big. That's the reason they killed the Valkyrie there. And to keep in mind, like, they just have so much damage. He popped the Veiled Rod on Swiftblade, and he's going to try, I think he might loop around.
Shockwave up in 10 seconds. This could be big. I mean, they do have token on Doctor Repulsor, but they're pushing in right now.
No Vindy Silence, however, for 50 seconds. They do have Glyph. There it is. It's going to be big that they get the right initiation here, but remember, no Vindy Silence. Here comes the Fade. BKB popped immediately by Doctor Repulsor. Fade whiffs the stun, gets hooked. Swiftblade just spinning, killing the Pharaoh. He's going to go down immediately. No one taking any damage. Here comes the Behemoth. Give it some time. Oh, Swift's taking so much damage. And he's going to go down.
Yeah, Vindicator.
There's the buyback immediately.
Yeah, they're going to buy back. They still have the Behemoth ulti, but they still get the Rax, though, is the biggest thing. Token still up on Doctor. Just that stronger head on Doctor Pulsar was the biggest impact there. He was not able to burst him down, and because of that, MRR, they lose their Rax.
And indeed, but one Rax is not that big of a deal. They did, but they used the last buyback on Swiftblade. This game is now over if Swiftblade dies, and it's so hard for him. Like, just one mistake is enough, and how do you play mistake-free against a Doctor Repulsor who's going to be 6-slotted once this Aegis fades?
Yeah, it looks like he's actually most likely going to go for a Brutalize. Wait, no, he sold his Shrunken. Swiftblade doesn't have Shrunken anymore.
Really?
He doesn't have Shrunken.
What the hell? How did that happen?
Did he sell it for Wingblade?
He must have. See, I would have much preferred he just hold on to the Firebrand, screw the Frostburn, and go for the Wingbow right away. Yeah. But at this stage, man, that's just so unfortunate. What happened to Behemoth? I was like, for sure he's going to come in and just wreck. There were four heroes clumped on top of one another. Yeah,
I think because when Swiftblade died, and the team fight was looking bad already, if he goes in, he probably dies, and then obviously cooldown from Shockwave is down as well. But BMG looking to group up already.
He needs a BKB, man. Like, that's the only reason he goes down. He just got Hellflowered and just killed immediately. True. I think he even caught an arrow. Like, you can't be fighting at 55 minutes without a Shrunken Head. Fade does use the Invis, and remember, no buyback on Swiftblade. If he dies, that will be the game, unless they can take out both cores.
Yeah, this Shrunken Head, he must have sold it for the Wing Blow. Like, he must have thought, oh yeah, it's 5 seconds left on the Shrunken Head, he's going to sell it just to get the Wing Blow. But you're right, though, with him getting Hellflowered and all the stuns coming out from BMG as well, there was no way that Swiftblade was going to have to survive. And as a result, BMG, they're still going to try and capitalize on him having no Shrunken Head. The Rax are down, so they're going to stop. The Rax are down bottom, so they're going to start pushing top. So, you know, the bottom can be pushing in while they're pushing in top as well. And Fade, he should be fine. Although Dr. Repulsor is going to try and find him with his magnetic contraption. He's going to pull. He actually stuns onto 2. They're going to go on the Torture. Torture is going to fall definitely straight away. Dr. Repulsor does use the strong, and he does have the token. But Swiftblade hits Swiftblade. Oh my!
Yeah, going to go down. The Aegis pops. They're going for the Glyph. Fade lands the stun on the Dr. Repulsor, but there are still 4 alive, and they're all, of course, the only hero dead is Torturer.
BMG,
they used everything there.
They used everything, though. Swiftblade is still up, but no Shockwave. Dr. Repulsor is still up. I mean, they're going to take this wreck. Is this the game, Swindle?
It could be. Swiftblade has to regen. Still not enough gold for the Shrunken Head. He's going to go in. Big stun onto Valkyrie. He's going to get the spin off as well. The poor leap might kill him, but DR still full mana, just doing so much damage. Fade's going to die immediately. There's the Ganjuro.
Oh, bananas from Valkyrie. Well really clutch play. Swiftblade looks like he's going to go down as well. Dr. Repulsor. Oh, he does miss, but it doesn't matter. Swiftblade still goes down. No more buyback from Swiftblade. Is that the game? It is the game. GG, well played. BMG 2-0 now onto this grand finals, Swindle.
Yep. Boxing, just playing so clutch. It is his first big land, and his decision-making is just perfect. Positioning himself offensively, baiting out the Swift to just attack him one more time. I'm sure he's screaming, get the Swift, get the Swift, get the Swift. Boom, Baltazar picks him up, and that is a 2-0 lead for BMG. It looked like MMR had a chance.
Man, that game was a lot closer than I think it should have been. And that all goes down to one hero, Swindle, that Behemoth. Yeah, obviously they still lose, but my MVP still goes to 07T for V1, man. They kept it in so well, and because of that, yeah, they still lost, but it was very close. And BMG, they were definitely nervous near the end because it looked like MRR were taking back that game.
It did. It really did. And it really comes down to just no ability to cancel Nullstone. Like, that to me was the big thing of the game. And the Fade did get a sheep, but they just really didn't have